You're listening to the audio portion of Workshop Wednesdays. Workshop Wednesdays is a free live discussion about topics affecting accountants, bookkeepers, and business owners. You can join the ABO group in Facebook to participate live Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Just search for ABBO in Facebook. This podcast is brought to you by Schoolofbookkeeping.com, where you will learn, grow, and build a thriving bookkeeping practice. We have hundreds of lessons with almost every aspect of the industry. Start your free month today at Schoolofbookkeeping.com. Well, welcome to another Workshop Wednesday, casual conversations for serious workflows, brought to you by Schoolofbookkeeping.com, which is all about learning QuickBooks your way, whether you're nice enough to do it yourself. We have course content for that, or if you need some assistance, we got that. We got you covered there at School of Bookkeeping. So, hi, Rachel. How are you?
I'm good, Dan. How are you? I hate to tell you this, but kind of some of the same issues we were dealing with last week.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. You're fuzzy a little bit, and you're like kind of unfreezing, but it's not that bad. I can still see you. So, I don't know. You might be having bandwidth issues again.
How's this? Is this any better?
Well, you're not freezing and I can hear you. So, your face is just a little bit blurry. So, you know, not the end of the world.
If you joined us last week, I'm sorry, because that was a challenge in and of itself. And we thought we had it covered by having Rachel push the go live button. According to our streamer platform that we're using, they said, hey, have somebody with more bandwidth click the button because it's using your internet to stream out. But
yeah, and my internet's good because I'm hardwired. But you're not freezing, and I can definitely hear you, and you're only slightly blurry, so we should definitely continue.
Okay, yeah, that's the least things that people are concerned with is getting a good view of Dan. Anyway, okay, so this is like the third try that we've tried to do this topic of Intuit Accountant Suite, navigating it, and hopefully when I share my screen, we don't have some pixelated shenanigans. But that's what we're going to talk about today. So the last full iteration that we had was just kind of like the overview, kind of setting the stage as to the changes that Intuit is making to Intuit Accountant Suite, the two different versions, the changes to the Pro Advisor program. So we are now talking this section of navigating, because I remember when Rachel, you opted in like before anybody.
Yeah, well, it's only because my oops, sorry, am I still there? It's only because I had it available for some strange reason, like very early, because different subscriptions, have different views for different people. And I think this is even before they even announced that it was coming out. I was like, what's this? Click.
So when you opted in, because this was in the kind of the beta thing. Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy. We lost Dan. Oh, now he's back. Oh, now he's sharing his screen. Well, he's here. Oh, there he is.
What does an aneurysm feel like?
Well, your shared screen popped up, but you left and then came back. So
yeah, it said oops, reconnecting, and then I saw your deer in the headlights. Where'd he go? So now we're shuffled. Okay, what was I saying before I was really
IAS.
Yeah. So when you opted into the beta, was that did you get a choice of the different flavors to opt into?
I did at first. No, I didn't. You showed me a couple of the different versions. That's what I'm thinking of. No, When I opted in, it was just one version.
Got it. And what was your initial impression when it changed? Like what was it like oh, this is the same as the new QBO, or like where the F is
Um,
everything?
well, visually, it doesn't look that much different. So at first, I was like, oh, it's just slightly scrambled around. That's fine. Now they really did change the left-hand navigation menu. The dashboard type of stuff didn't look all that different, but
Mhm.
I still now have a really hard time with finding the things I need to find. I mean, even just earlier today, I was looking for recurring transactions and I can't find it. So it really, really screwed me up. But again,
Mhm.
I use Right Tool, so
Yeah.
that always saves. That always saves me. But for me, it's I have a really hard time finding things, and it just really chaps my hide when they move around things like that when I'm
Yeah.
just trying to do my job.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had a private tutoring session with an accountant yesterday or the day before, and he brought up something, or I noticed something that he was doing that um, that I wanted to talk about. He was using the QuickBooks desktop app, right? So the QuickBooks Online app
Yeah,
that you
the
can
QBO
download.
desktop app.
Yeah,
Which I thought
and
they
that
didn't have that anymore. I thought they did away with it.
no, it's still available, right? And
Oh,
they
okay.
it was available for all versions, and then they stopped developing it, and then they brought it back just for QBO Advanced. Um,
Oh, okay. That's what I'm thinking of, and I didn't
yeah,
realize they did that.
yeah. So accountants, because you're technically using the firm books in the QBOA, is the advanced function, so you
Uh
can
huh.
use that as an accountant as well. So he was using the desktop app, and on the desktop app itself, there's a little toggle button for desktop view, which makes it look like um, desktop. Like, so those
Oh,
people that have moved from QuickBooks Desktop to QuickBooks Online, there is a toggle button on the app to give you that static sidebar and
yeah.
menus at the
Oh,
top and those.
interesting.
And that was
I
actually
didn't know that, and I'm gonna download that desktop app, and I'm gonna see because I that's interesting.
because for you know because Intuit is moving the playing shell game with where is this and where did it go and those types of things. This makes things static, right? And you mentioned Right Tool as a tool that is sits over top of QuickBooks and makes things static for you. That
Mm-hmm.
is the downside, right? Is that because you'd be using the desktop app, you can't use Right Tool,
Right, because
right?
it only
So
works in Google Chrome.
exactly.
Um, but the thing is if I really was doing things correctly, I would just make things favorites,
Yeah.
and I still plan on doing it. And of course, if you bookmark favorite, all the things that you typically use in
Hmm.
the new IAS, that's what I'm going to call it. um, then of course, you have those things handy, and there are certain things I'm in all day. So that would be very helpful. But the problem is the things that I don't am not in all day and that I don't know where it is. Now, does
Yeah.
it have, and maybe I don't know if you're going to show it, but does it have a search ability? Like for me just to bring up recurring transactions? You know what I mean? And just like pop it up?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's
Because again, I don't know where they nested that. And so,
yeah,
and
yeah.
by the way, the search bar at the top won't bring up a module. It'll bring up an amount or an invoice or a
Yeah.
transaction, but it won't bring up a module that I'm looking for. And so that's really frustrating.
Hmm.
Because again,
Yeah.
where do they put that? Is it in lists? Is it in here? Is it in system settings? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So um, let's go ahead and just share my screen. Hopefully, I don't get kicked out. There you are. Okay. And there we are. So now we can see. Now we're looking. Okay. So the
Yeah, I
first
mean, and I
thing,
don't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I mean the first thing that's different, besides the fact that it's much more white, is the is the home screen that you come to, right? Instead
Yeah.
of seeing your client list, which was the way that things were looking inside of QBOA. When you logged in, you would see the client
Hmm.
list, because that was the original thought of QBOA when it first came out. Is it's a client dashboard to go
Yeah.
into your clients.
Yeah.
So of course you would want to see the clients first, because all you're doing is logging into this dashboard to get to your clients as an accountant, right? So that's more, so the feedback over time, and what Intuit has been working on, is that you don't necessarily, there's things that you would like to have insights into as a firm, and you don't want to keep going into your clients in order to get those answers, right? So there's something that you might want to see. So the dashboard that comes up first, as it's customizable, right? You have this option here to customize and move things around. You can't get rid of a widget, but you can resize it and position it uh, differently.
Which I
But there
love that.
are,
I like that. I like any kind of
yep,
customization.
yeah. So the main things that as far as the widgets that are concerned on that dashboard, is uh, this Pro Advisor certification widget, right? Which, what this looks at is the number of team members that you have in your firm, and what certifications that they've taken, right? So in this particular case, there's 7 team members, and one of them is certified, right? So on level one, and nobody's certified on level two out of the 7 that are there. And then you have this link there to view and manage training, and go right into and see a section of, see all the team members, and what their status is on their training, right? Because there's other trainings that you can have access to, because the Pro Advisor Academy is in there, and there's AI for accountants. There's the CAS training modules, the bookkeeping certification. So you can go into the training for your team and see, well, what have they completed thus far, right? So this widget
Yeah, and
is
you know
designed
what?
to.
I
Mhm.
oh sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, what were you going to
I
say?
was just gonna say I had something to ask you, like where the heck is this? But guess what? I just looked at my dashboard and I instantly saw it.
Okay.
Okay.
You,
And the thing
that's how
is
some.
I'm moving so fast sometimes that I just don't even see it. But okay. And now I like it actually.
Right.
And what I'm referring to is client apps, but
Yes.
I actually like this way better. I like this way
Yeah.
better than it was.
Right. And that's another IAS widget, right? Is seeing it right on your dashboard. Clients with app issues, right? So here it's listed
Yeah.
16, right? So this lists every client, and how many apps they might have issues with. It doesn't mean that it's a problem, right? It could potentially. It's one of those, danger Will Robinson type types of things, meaning that it's
Yeah,
something to
we
alert,
have we have clients with lots and lots and lots of apps, and sometimes it'll show
right?
something's red when it's fine.
Yeah. So it's just something to to check on every once in a while, because this allows you to see that without going into the client to see what their status is.
I like that.
Um, yep. Then product updates is another widget that you can show here. This is really Intuit's marketing, right? A lot of time, um, as well as this client product recommendations widget, which is right below that. So as things are reviewed, in the data, right? It could make some product QuickBooks product recommendations for add-on services that they might find useful, right? But
Yeah. How
when I
about
clicked on
clients with
this,
disconnected bank accounts? I like that one a
yeah,
lot.
yes, this is a great one because you can see all of the clients that have and how many accounts that are disconnected, because that's, if you're living in the bank feed for a lot of what it is that you do, knowing that there might be an issue, with Look Save a Life, there's one disconnected account, right? So that may not be the
Yeah.
whole picture if I go into that client and look for start to enter in transactions. I'm going to take care of that first before starting to do my work, right? So product updates is going to give you those features that um, you know if you're not participating in workshops like this, or if you're not participating in the know webinars or anything like that, you can click on these things and learn more about those features, right? So
Yeah.
there is a sales tax agent, right? That we I learned about at Intuit Connect, and some of the things that they're doing there for the sales tax um, functions and features. It's pretty cool. And here it is. File your sales tax easily. I would say that is a embellishment,
I
right?
think sales tax and easily should never be in the same sentence.
Right, right. It's like there's it's an oxymoron, right?
It's
Filing
just
them
like,
easily.
honestly, like what in the world?
It's like Microsoft Works. It just doesn't jumbo shrimp, right? Those things that don't mean the opposites. But you can see all of the updates, those types of things that Intuit wants you to know about, so you can get the scoop on those product updates, at least from Intuit's perspective as to what they're supposed to or designed to do. So then you've got your client product recommendations, which you talked about, and those disconnected bank accounts. So those are the main 5 widgets that I saw that are uh, pretty useful because they consolidate data across your clients in one place. So
It would be
you
nice
don't
though
have
if they added some more for us to pick and choose from and
yeah,
customize the way that we really want
or
it, the way that
yeah, or hide widgets
several
that you don't
other,
want to see, right?
yeah, exactly, like several other products that I use that have
Mhm.
a lot more customization that you can um, hide things you don't want
Mhm.
and view
Yeah,
things you do want, and so on and so forth.
yeah. So there's this privacy toggle, which is, if you're sitting in the Starbucks and you're logged into your
Oh yeah, that's a good
uh,
idea.
like the QuickBooks, but yeah, it's an all or nothing, right?
Yeah.
So some things that you wouldn't consider to be private, like drive repeat business by using the post invoice survey, it doesn't show up at all when you turn off this
Yeah.
privacy thing. But yeah, if you're at the airport or somewhere public that you don't and working on your client stuff, and you don't necessarily want to have somebody lurking over your shoulders looking at some things, you can toggle that privacy on to hide that. Now, the way that this looks is subject to your who you're logged in as, right? So if you modify the dashboard for yourself, that shouldn't be modified for other people on your team, as well as this stuff on the left side, right? So that was that's probably the biggest headache for people to navigate is whoop, everything was on the left side. Where'd it go? Right? Would you agree with that, Rachel?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, now they're sort of like clustered up in things that I don't know where. Or if the idea was to put them on the dashboard so they're more visible, I don't know to look there, right? Like client apps, which I just
Mm-hmm.
discovered. So, it's okay. I mean, it's fine. I'm the kind of person I need to take some more time to sit down and go through it and really, understand where everything is. I have just been very busy lately, but it's nothing that isn't easily rectified by sitting down and spending, 10, 15 minutes going through and really making sure you understand.
Yeah. So Kristen asked if that was for all users, and then said immediately, "Oh, you just answered my question."
Uh-huh.
But um, if you are logged into a client, I mean, if you're logged into the firm and you don't have access to any of these things that you should see, like if you're listed as basic, what used to be referred to as basic, or you don't have firm access, you only have client access, you won't see much of anything other than things that don't have insight into the client at all, right? Or any
Oh,
of
okay,
any of your
cool.
client, right? So you won't see, but that privacy is something for um, company admins of the firm, and
Okay.
you also see
Oh,
that.
so if you're not a company admin of the firm of QBOA, or sorry, IAS, then you won't have that privacy switch.
Right, right. If there's nothing to keep private, you won't see the privacy.
Got
That's a theory. That doesn't mean that that's the reality all the
it.
time, but that was the intention of that privacy toggle.
One thing I wanted to ask you, Dan, and maybe
Yeah.
one thing that I know on the left hand navigation screen of kind of the way that it was before is, to me, it kind of felt like there was a couple of different places where I could access things. Now it kind of feels like there's one place. Is that true? Am I seeing that right, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assessment. That's what I've been noticing as well. Is like there used to be multiple ways to get to things. There still is for some things, but they are trying to. I think in reality they're trying to push people to the left side, right? And you
Yeah,
do
like if
have.
you go into bank transactions or bank feeds, I feel like I used to be able to access a lot more. And then did they do away with that?
Well, I mean, again, to there's only so much real estate on the left side, right? So
Yeah.
you have all this wasted space at here at the top, right? So I would assume they might use that. At some point they might utilize
Hmm.
this global header at the top. But I think for
Well,
the time
actually,
being,
now that I'm looking at it closely, part of it is this setup is difficult for my eyes. I have a hard time with small print. And
mhm,
so when you're logging on to something like this, QuickBooks Online, and I am looking at small print, sometimes I'm squinting and then I'm like, and I don't see all the things. Obviously, under Good Afternoon Daniel, we've got those are shortcuts, right?
mhm,
So if I wanted to, I could click on that and go
yep,
to whatever I wanted, expenses
mhm,
and pay bills, which is the same under all apps. That would be
right.
the same module, expenses and pay bills, right? Or is that a different setup?
No, it's so if I go to clients, right?
Yeah,
Essentially, that's going to take me to the client
your
overview,
client
right?
list. Now, is
Your
that
client list.
customizable though? Those things at the top?
As far as what you see up here, you mean?
Yeah.
No, they are just there. Those are the main groupings for um, for the
Okay.
for the sections that are here, right? So you've got the
Yeah,
same
but
thing.
like, okay, but like for example, like this one at the top, expenses and pay bills. Well, on the left hand side, under firm operations, it's expenses and bills, not
Hmm.
pay bills. So this is a different little module that it's, you know what I
Right.
mean? It's going to an expenses and pay bills overview, but that's not the same thing that I would see if I clicked on expenses and bills and then overview. Is it? Oh, it is.
Let's see.
It is.
It is.
Okay. All right. They're all sort of hyperlinking to the same thing. That's what I wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good call out, because on when you're on the home screen, these sections here at the top, right,
They're
are and should
shortcuts.
be they are and they should be uh, the the same that you see here, as far as
Yeah, because it makes me
those
think like, well, it's not named the same. It's
yeah,
pay bills, which there's specifically a function called bill pay or
right.
pay bills, and it's you don't see that in uh, bill payments. Actually, yeah, you do. Okay, but it's no that okay, never mind. Yeah, so it's worded slightly different, so
Yeah.
it makes me think like, wait, is it the same thing? It's a little confusing.
My guess, right, and I'm just guessing here, because I I stopped a long time ago trying to second guess what why things are, but I would say um, it's a real estate thing here on the left side, right?
Okay,
Because up at the top, everything's horizontal, right? So you have as much as you want. So you could add more. Essentially, you could add more um, text, in these little app icons here at the top. But here on the left side, if that would be the only one that would extend further out, right? So uh,
okay,
I think the word pay just got the axe, because that would then stick out much further than everything else that's here. So I think in to keep things narrow, or as narrow as they could be on this side menu, they just drop the word pay.
gotcha. So essentially, everything across the top is basically what you're saying along the side.
Exactly. And
Okay,
so that's part of the UI overhaul of QuickBooks Online, is this changing of the terminology from uh, of apps uh, to integrations, right? So
yeah,
what we used to consider an app to be a third party, like Bill.com or Milio or Ramp, or really just sticking to the expense ones, but sales tax of Avalara, all the things that integrate with QuickBooks, we
yeah,
used to call apps, and they used to call them apps. Now,
yeah.
apps is the sections or the workspaces,
Modules. Yeah,
the modules of QuickBooks are applications. Now, integrations, that's the and this is part of the challenge of it's not consistent. Hector hates the fact that the calendar is different in different areas.
yeah.
Here is this my integrations at the top, but then this widget says what clients with app issues, right?
Yeah,
So this
it's hard, and I don't like that because it's basically they say, yeah, we want to now refer to everything as apps, and then um, if it's not if it's not consistent throughout the whole thing, then it leaves people feeling confused.
Yep, and that's
I don't really like
part.
that. I don't really
Yeah,
need to to call the functionalities within QuickBooks apps. I
yeah.
don't really get that.
Yeah. But again, it's probably something that was like, okay, well, what do we call it so that it's small enough to fit on the left side, right? Because
Yeah, that's true. But Intuit's always like that. Let's call
yeah,
two different things the same word and then mean something different.
yeah, yeah. So if it is, um, if that's what you're calling apps, then anything that's not an app within QuickBooks should be called something else, right? So simple enough, they could have just changed this client with integration issues, or integrators issues, or whatever it is that they're calling it up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just make it consistent, and then it would be easier to adopt, and you wouldn't necessarily need a workshop or or an
Yeah,
extra
they're
training
like
to get yourself familiar with.
they're like the kings and queens of that. We'll adapt this and then phase out the other thing.
Right. And this is where feedback comes in, right? So go ahead and put that feedback in. And I forgot to start with the question of the day: is do you struggle to to find things in the new IAS, right? Um, so
Well, for me, not as much anymore because this has been really helpful to kind of.
yeah,
I have to set aside the time. Like the whole time that we've been doing this, I've been looking on my dashboard, going like,
right,
"Oh yeah, okay, that's the same as that thing," and "Oh yeah, that's where that is." So I have to be forced to sit down and spend some time and look through it. And now it's good. I mean, as long as I still have that plus button at the very top too. Don't
right,
They better not take that thing away, otherwise I'm going to be really mad.
exactly. So just kind of working down the left side navigation. So the briefcase, which that's what this icon is supposed to be, this little attaché, which is called My Menu. Right before it was up here in the global header, where you could see all of your accountant tools. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Whether you were in your firm or your client's books, you would see that briefcase, and you could click on it and go to reconcile or new window or uh, reclassify transactions, all the things that was uh, specific for accountant users was in this little top drop down menu. And that was the first thing that accountants noticed. It was like, where'd the briefcase go? Well, it
Yeah.
didn't go far, right? Because it just moved from the top to this part here, and it's now called My Menu instead of just a briefcase, right? Or accountant
Yeah.
tools, I
Which is
think is what it's
completely
called.
customizable. I just looked in there. It's very cool.
Yep. Yeah. So it's sectioned off into three sections: the bookmarks, create, and tools, right? And this little icon to the right here is an indicator that if you click this option, it's going to go to another tab, right? So that's what would
Yeah.
occur. So a new window obviously would go to a new window, a new tab. Enterprise Suite referral would take you to another tab, and then Pro Connect Tax Online would clearly go to another tab because that's another service, right? But this little icon here at the top is a customize option, right? So you can reorder sections. So if you want the create to be at the top or the tools to be at the top, you can change the order of those sections. And then anything that you can bookmark as well, right? So you can search through any of the ones that you were previously using. You can uh, add them here, and then again reorder them however you see fit. Same thing for create. So if you're doing, part of your um, engagement with your client is something, entering in bills, right? You may want to have bills, be a create option, as well as those tools, right? So if you're not into tax prep, there's no need to see those things there. So you can reorder them and make them available in the My Menu, right? When you do bookmark something, um, it does automatically go into the bookmarks down below, right? So
I
that's
love that. And I just
a nice.
bookmarked custom reports, which I need.
Yeah,
And I always make custom reports and want those like at the click of a button because I always forget. And then I always go in the standard reports. It's actually pretty cool. I really like this a lot.
yeah, once you get once you get past the with the F stage, it's actually not too bad, right? So that's the menu and the bookmark. Now you mentioned the plus button, right, which used to
Yes.
be called the create new or the plus new button
Yeah,
or whatever
new
it
or
is.
something. Now it's create.
That is still the same. It's just called something else, right? So it's now the create button instead of the new button, right? So you got your sales and invoices. This is not customizable, but it hasn't
Nope.
changed either, right? So
Nope.
if you were used to the plus new button, now it's just called create, and it's still there, right?
And
So
please don't change this around into it. I depend on this thing.
right, this is something that's static, that is the same regardless of what flavor that you're on. So that's a good thing. Home, of course, takes you to your dashboard. Reports will take you right to your report center, and then, as we had kind of mentioned, the all apps mirrors what's at the top. Now, big difference between QBOA and IAS is the sections, right? So in QBOA, it used to have your practice, which had anything that was dealing with the firm itself, right? Client list, um, teams, the pro advisor training, all of those things that were firm related were in the your practice section. So now they've kind of changed that to service delivery, and which makes sense, right? Like that the things that are mostly concerning with your practice uh, is part of your service delivery for your client. So work is there, right? So it used to be in your practice, and now it's work, and then you've got your projects and all the tasks that you have associated, and then the client insights and books close, which we'll talk about. Books close we'll talk about next week, and then client insights the week after that, going into some of the deeper dives on that. And then everything that was in your books is now in firm operations, right? Because that's
Hmm.
essentially uh, the uh, the thing, right? Like, so everything that's so your clients and your client list is the same as your customers or your clients in your books, right? So that was always a point of confusion when it came to QBOA and the your books and the firm clients, right? So this is trying to homogenize that. You can still go into, oops, if I can get to it, um, in the customer hub, which you get an app for that. You can go into your clients there, but that's going into your customer list inside your books, as
Yeah.
opposed to going into the client list to access their books, right?
Which that's what I was saying before, is I like that narrowed down client list, which is just the QBO
Yep.
subscriptions. And you
Right.
can bookmark that and put that in your top of your bookmarks, and then there you go. It's right there.
Yep. And then in there, you can filter for all of your clients or those with just a subscription.
Oh yeah, that's what I was
Depending,
talking about. I just like to see subscriptions.
right. That way you can see, um, anyone that does have a QuickBooks subscription, and now they've added more to it, right? Like, what do they have for accounting solutions? What do they have for other products?
Hmm.
If they have attached apps, you can see that all in one place and access it. I'm just wondering what extra columns that you have. So email and phone number is things that
Oh,
in addition that you can add. So obviously, if you're not doing taxes, right? So you can undo the preps for taxes columns,
yeah. And
so that
actually,
you
you know what? I really like that. That's actually a really cool feature, because you know what I was always doing is I would have to go into their QBO, because sometimes I'd need to get their email or address or whatever. And I would go into their QBO, into their settings, and I would look up their address that way, just like if I needed it quickly. And now I can, make this view something quicker that I can reference.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so those are all available in all apps. And then when you actually do go into something, you get this little icon here at the top, which then you don't have to then hover over the all apps to try to sneak up on the option that you're trying to get to, because then you can just click this little icon here, and now it's kind of like a static menu that you can work with, rather than trying to find uh, sneak up on it here.
Yeah.
This is part of my feedback to Intuit, like using this all apps is a little challenging, because if you don't get to the sub menu fast enough, or you click on the wrong one, or resizes or something,
Yeah.
um, it you could certainly not be in the right place. So this expansion of the left side navigator is is a nice option, and then it's a lot more easier to navigate around in QuickBooks, rather than doing this hunt and peck, search and destroy
Yeah.
type of thing, right? And then down here, just like in QBO today, right, you have areas or sections of that, basically what they would refer to as apps, that are pinned, right? So the the client, the work, right, that section up here at the top in the service delivery, those three service delivery sections are first, right? So you've got your work, insights, and books close. If, of course, you're not on the accelerate option, you wouldn't see insights, because that's a or IAS accelerate function only. Um, and then it goes into the firm operations apps of clients, team, and uh, pro advisor. So you can access those and see more down here at the bottom, or click customize, and you can customize the apps on the left side as to which should be pinned and in what order. So again, that is customizable by user. So if if your job or your tasks at your firm are just reconciliations, then you can pin the tab, or pin the app that gets you to that sooner. All right. Now across the top,
Yeah, I really like it. I actually, they have a lot of customization options. I'm pretty pleased with that.
yeah, it's a catch-22 when it comes to preferences and customizations, and um, being able to teach or train your clients, right? Because if they've customized it to a point where it's not consistent with what you have, then it's hard for you to say, well, this is what you do to fix this. If you have a client who has a question, it's like, where do I go to pay my sales tax? Well,
Yeah, yeah.
if you don't
It's
have the
it's
option
also
here.
yeah, and also we do a lot of like internally, we do a lot of step by step scribe. How do
Mhm.
I do this? And well, a lot of those are irrelevant now that this has been changed. But
Yeah,
I may have things, in my left hand navigation bookmarked that, people are seeing certain things that maybe they don't have set up on there. So internally, it can maybe get a little confusing too with all of the extra customization.
absolutely.
But I usually, what I'll say is like if I'm doing a Loom video, for example, and I'll say, you want to go here to the left hand navigation and, click here, and then you can find expenses. And then I'll usually say, if you don't have this view, then, you can always look here and see if it's there. I don't know. I always like give a different option or something, like a
Yeah.
caveat just in case. I'm always really careful not to say, it's exactly here. You go here. You go here. I always kind of have to word it like you may or may not
Mhm.
see exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, and one of the options that you might have is that, if you get to a screen, right, and you want to tell your customer just get to the screen and basically spoon feed it for them, you can grab
Uh-huh.
the URL, right? And once they're signed in to their QuickBooks, if you click on, if you have them click the URL, it will take them right to the screen. But if you're trying to teach
Oh,
them
that's a great
how,
idea. Yeah.
if you're trying to teach them how to do that sort of thing, then that kind of
Hmm.
supersedes the option to get there, right? Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're training them to ask you uh, to give you to provide the link, as opposed to,
Yeah.
it's the whole teaching them to fish versus fishing for them, right? Um,
Yeah.
so, I want to talk lastly about the global header. Right, we talked about the search bar. It's it's the same search as the advanced search inside of QBOA. It just has gone from a magnifying glass to a whole field. Right, so
Hmm.
you'll just have that field. It does the exact same thing and has the same limitations. I don't think there's anything new ish for what the search actually does, but I'm sure they're actually working on it because there's a lot of feedback about search. um,
Which, by the way,
and then
search for me is one of the greatest things. We, as a team, we use this all day, every day.
moving across the top, you've got your tasks, right? So there's a tasks for the firm, the client work that you have up here, right? So rather than going to
Hmm.
all tasks, you can just click on those tasks at the top and see those tasks. Now, the lightning bolt, this is where workflows are located. So things that you weren't want to see or specify, so that QuickBooks does things automatically, as Brad Smith would
Hmm.
say. So you can create those workflows here and have easy access to them. You have your integrations. This is just your firm integrations, and you can see the little icons if there are things that might need your attention or not. Right? Notifications. This is for messages and other notifications to show up in here, so you can see and address them. So collaborating through the bank feed and those types of things, or sending a task and your client replies to that, or your team member replies to a task. You can, and then notifying you. This also could be pending approvals and things for bills and invoices and those types of things as well. So that's where you would see notifications. And then your favorite, the gear, right? So you've got the gear menu. So as long as the plus sign and the gear don't change, you can
Yep.
still find
Don't
your
change
way
that.
around. Right?
I am really interested in automations, and we do a lot of automation, and I just don't use them in QBO because I don't really know a lot about what there is. But do you know if they allow outside apps for integration, like for Slack or things like that?
No, this is the workflow automation is mostly for, as we click on it, a reminder inside of QuickBooks, an approval, a notification, or something to send
I see.
or update, and they will
So
be
it's not
contextual.
necessarily an action and a trigger.
Well, it is, but it's all within QuickBooks, right?
It's
So
all from one point in QBO to another point in QBO.
yeah, I mean, or it could, like, if you're sending if you're sending something, then it could send an email outside of, to a customer, or it could
Hmm.
send an email to, somebody, a team member or things like that. But it's all,
Okay.
triggered within something changing inside of QuickBooks, not something
So
that's
is it
happening.
like if bill is created, it can send an email notification to a team member or something?
Yep. Yeah. So when you choose bills, these are the three things that you could do: a reminder, an approval, or a notification. Let's see what reminder gives us the ability to do. Right. So when a bill is created or edited, the bill payment status is unpaid. Right. So those are the two criteria, and
Hmm.
you can you can add more to it, right? So bills created or edited and it's unpaid, yes, it'll send a reminder too, right? So that's
The
that's
approver.
the yeah. So you can send
That's
it
pretty
to
cool.
and you can notify via a task or an email, right? So it can
Mm-hmm.
automatically create a task for somebody, right? So you create a bill,
Yeah.
you want somebody to do something else, right? So maybe they need to inspect it, or maybe they just need to pay it, right? It's like that could be the task, right? So hey, do this before it's done, and then um, all reminders will be sent at the time you selected here, or when you end this task when it's paid, right? So you don't have to have this task listed and mark it closed if you have this criteria of ending the task, right? So as soon as the bill is paid, then the task goes away, right? So it gets marked as done. So it's just a way um, to keep the work flowing um, inside of QuickBooks Online.
That's
So
cool.
there's all sorts of templates that are in here. One of the things that is really cool about these workflows is like something about payment reminders, right? So um, in all other versions of QuickBooks, if you have an overdue invoice and you want to remind your customers to pay that in Simple Start, Essentials, and Plus, it's all or nothing, right? So you can specify the number of days, but here with automations, you can set different criteria, right? So if the dollar amount
Oh,
is
cool.
less than $50, maybe you don't want to keep
Yeah.
sending payment reminders. It might be, hey, if it's over $1,000 and it's late, let's let's talk about that, right?
Yeah.
And you can send multiple different reminders on different days that maybe the wording gets a little bit stronger each time. Like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
it's been 3 months. We're we're gonna get a legal team involved if you continue not to pay it, right? So
Yeah.
that's something it's just more customizations that you can do. But I think we've diverted into a different topic of what is workflows, which we'll make another.
I know, because I like automations and I'm getting a lot more involved in them. So
And then the last
it's
thing up here
very
is
cool to
the
me.
help, which apparently they don't want to help me because it's blank. Oh, there it is. But you see the inside of the help, and then you have your Pro Advisor profile and managing your Intuit account, which you had before. So
Yeah, we don't need to talk about the help here because if anybody needs help, they can just go to School of Bookkeeping.
that's right. That's right. So that is the overview of the general navigation inside of the new IAS Intuit Accountant Suite, regardless of what flavor that you have, whether it's Core or Accelerate. Um, it's consistent, at least, with the new user interface of QBO, with the exception of the green bar, right? So the global header across the top will let you know if you're in your firm or if you're in your clients by the shading of
Oh,
the
I didn't
color.
realize that.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
when you
hold on, let me see that.
put it to the test, as soon as you
Oh,
go in,
yeah. Okay.
so that's a
Why don't
that's
I
an easy
notice
way
things
to
like
tell.
that, Dan?
I don't know. And why didn't I notice that they're calling me Daniel? Um, I got to figure out where they're pulling Daniel from because that's not what
You're
that's
into it
supposed to.
profile, probably.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so colored across the top. If you're in green, that's just a brain signal to let you know, oh, I'm in my firm or I'm in my client.
Yeah.
Right. So
Okay.
next week
Gosh, this
we're
was so
gonna,
informative. I'm really grateful. Yeah, I learned a lot.
great. Now, next week, we're going to take a deeper dive into the books close. which they have labeled as an advanced books review. So we'll talk about what they mean by that next week on the workshop. Sorry we went a little long, and sorry I'm pixelated. But we'll figure
That's
out
okay.
the whole we'll figure out the whole streaming thing and get it working eventually at some day. But I appreciate you joining us this week, and we'll see you next time on the Workshop Wednesday. Bye bye, everybody. And that wraps up another insightful episode of Workshop Wednesday, brought to you by Schoolofbookkeeping.com. We hope you enjoyed today's discussion and took away some valuable tips and strategies to enhance your bookkeeping practice. Remember, if you want to stay ahead in the world of bookkeeping and accounting, be sure to visit Schoolofbookkeeping.com. With a wide range of courses, resources, and expert guidance, you'll find everything you need to sharpen your skills and boost your career. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed today's show, please take a moment to leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. Your reviews help us reach more listeners and continue to bring you the best content every week. If you have questions or topics you'd like us to cover, reach out to us on social media or send us an email at support@schoolofbookkeeping.com. We love hearing from our listeners and are always looking for new ideas to explore. Thanks for tuning in to Workshop Wednesday. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep excelling in your bookkeeping journey. I am Dan DeLong, and we'll see you next time.